Don't give up, you're closer than you think. God has already released the answer in the Spirit. The breakthrough has been delayed, but never denied. Your time is near. You cried in private, but God is about to bless you in public. That door you thought was shut forever, God is about to swing it wide open. Your prayers didn't bounce off the ceiling. They reached the throne of grace. When others gave up on you, God stayed beside you. You felt weak and broken, but His strength was perfected in you. What you thought was the end was just a setup for a divine beginning. The weight almost crushed you, but grace lifted you again. You sowed with trembling hands. You will harvest with joyful arms. You were mocked for believing, but God is about to show why you held on. You couldn't see the way, but the Waymaker was working in silence. Every no you faced was God guiding you to the best. Yes, you were fighting battles no one saw, but God never missed a moment. The process broke you, but the promise will build you back better. The tears watered your faith. Now watch it bloom into testimonies. That rejection hurt, but it was divine protection. You were isolated for a reason. God was sanctifying you for purpose. You thought God was late, but He's always right on time. Your waiting season wasn't wasted. God was working on you and your answer. The mountain looked impossible, but faith can move what fear cannot. You didn't quit in the drought. Now comes the flood of blessings. The enemy tried to silence you, but God is about to amplify your voice. Your obedience felt overlooked, but heaven was watching all along. You held on to the word. Now the word will hold you up. You doubted your worth, but God never stopped calling you His child. You wondered if He still hears. He never stopped listening. That detour confused you, but it led straight to destiny. Your efforts seemed invisible, but God saw every seed you planted. That quiet yes to God echoed louder than a shout in heaven. You were tired of holding on, but God was holding on to you. The midnight was long, but morning is here. You didn't get what you prayed for, because God had better. You were prepared to settle, but God's promise is still active. You thought you missed it, but grace gave you another chance. Your prayers shook the heavens. Now watch them shake the earth. The chains were strong, but His name breaks them all. You felt unseen, but God called you chosen. You gave your last strength. Now comes His overflowing help. They said it was over, but God said, I'm just getting started. The season was hard, but the fruit will be sweet. You were tempted to turn back, but God pushed you forward. You didn't understand why, but one day you'll thank Him for it. That no broke your heart, but it saved your soul. You asked, How long, Lord? Now He says, It's time. Your faith was tested, but your reward is on the way. You felt abandoned, but God was closest in your loneliness. The storm seemed unending, but peace is coming suddenly. You stayed in the fire, but you're coming out pure gold. You thought you were finished, but God is not done with you. You endured in the desert, but now the rivers are flowing. Your miracle didn't come overnight, but it's coming overflowing. You kept praying through the pain. Now joy is replacing every tear. The doctors gave a report, but God has the final word. They said you'd never rise again, but God is lifting you higher. The past haunted you, but grace rewrote your story. You were waiting for the right time. God was preparing the right moment. You were on the edge of giving up, but God pulled you back in love. You thought your faith failed, but it was growing roots. You waited, trusted, believed. Now it's time to receive. The enemy attacked your mind, but God renewed your spirit. You were anxious about the future, but God went before you. You thought you lost everything, but God is restoring more than you imagine. You were surrounded by problems, but God's presence surrounded you more. You wanted to escape the storm, but He taught you to dance in the rain. You asked if He still cares. He never stopped loving you. You tried everything in your strength. Now let God show you His power. The prayers were long and hard. But the answer is simple. Yes, my child. Your heart was broken. But His healing is perfect. You feared failure. But God calls you more than a conqueror. You thought it was wasted time. But God is restoring double. You wept over what left. But God is bringing what lasts. The pain changed you. But the promise will complete you. You wondered if you mattered. You were always the apple of His eye. You were surrounded by darkness. But light has broken through. You questioned the journey. But God authored the map. You stayed faithful when no one was watching. Now comes the public reward. You worried about provision. But God has already sent the supply. You feared the unknown. But God is already there. You were told it's too late. But God says, it's right on time. You prayed from an empty place. But God is filling you with abundance. You walked through shame. But grace clothes you in honor. You gave when it cost you everything. Now it's coming back pressed down, shaken, and running. You fasted, you cried, you waited. And God heard every moment of it. You stayed kind in a cruel world. God is rewarding your gentle spirit. You spoke life even when hurting. Now God is breathing life into you. You felt stuck in place. But God has turned the page. You kept the faith when hope felt lost. Now hope is knocking at your door. No matter how long you've waited, no matter how hard it's been, God has never left your side. His answer is on the way, and His timing is perfect. So don't give up. Don't stop believing. Your story is not over, it's just beginning. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more faith-filled inspiration. Keep the faith, your miracle is already in motion.